All right, welcome back to a brand new episode of Empire's Finest. I'm your host, Adam Krieger. To my right, my actual right this time, the man, the myth, the legend, Anthony Fontanello. First of all, Fon, how you doing today?
I'm doing good, man. A great day of work. Came down here first day in the studio. I like this.
So obviously, if you guys are watching on YouTube, which I hope you are, if you are watching on YouTube, hit the like button, subscribe, all that fun stuff. But we are in a studio. This is not Zoom. I'm holding a real microphone. I got a laptop in front of me. We got 3 cameras, a shit ton of lights. It's so hot in here. A desk. But we're in a studio. That's kind of cool. I guess before we even really get into the show, quick shout out to Bob and everyone at Mount St. Vincent for letting us do
Big
this.
facts. Bob the GOAT.
Bob's the GOAT. He's not even in here right now, but there's a chance if I look up past the camera, he's in the production studio. Yeah, so like there's so much new shit going on for us. Obviously, different location. We're recording a different time. Still Wednesdays. I guess when you're listening to this, it'll already be out, obviously, but we don't know if it's still going to come out on Thursdays or not, because now that we're doing this, there's a lot more work involved for Hunter. I have a lot to talk about with Hunter later. I did Hunter so dirty. I feel so bad, dude. I felt bad about it for literally a week. But I mean, I don't know. We're in a full-blown studio. I feel like I'm like about to run a new show. I don't know.
I've never held a mic in my hand before.
We're literally holding mics. There's 3 cameras in front of us.
I'm sure everyone can tell that I don't know how to hold a mic.
Like
I'm holding
I
it.
hope
This is the first time I've ever had one in my hand.
I have a feeling, Anthony, that we're gonna get yelled at by Hunter because he's gonna be like, "You guys need to either get like lavaliers or mics you can put on the table and not touch because you guys are fucking up the audio." So that's gonna happen. Obviously, you know, I still have my laptop in front of me just because I'm a laptop guy. My laptop's always in front of me. I got my show notes. You guys all can see my notebook for the first time. Can't release too many spoilers in there, but shit's weird, Anthony.
It's crazy, bro.
All right. First of all, before we even really get into the show, does it feel weird to come back here?
Honestly, not really.
Not that
I
weird.
did see Dr. Cronover, and he had no idea that I graduated. He was just like, "Yeah, I'll see you later." I said, "You know I graduated, right?"
Yeah,
I'm almost 25 years old. I hope I'm still not in school.
Listen, I'm almost 25. I'm still here. But yeah, this school has actually kind of come up a few times recently in content. Also on That's Some Cheese that came out yesterday, Tuesday. If you're listening, someone proposed the idea. Was it you? Was it your idea that we should take over this wrestling program again?
It wasn't my idea. It was really Trey's idea. I just kind of talked a little bit about like Mount St. Vincent and the situation with the wrestling program that happened here, and then all of a sudden Trey took it and ran with it. That now he wants to be a D3 head coach.
Dude,
turn the program.
He took it in like ran with it. All right, yeah, I lost my train of thought. Because we're in a studio, there's like so much equipment and shit. I feel like there's so much more I have to keep checking in on, but like I just gotta make sure. Like I feel like we have to be talking into the microphones. Like, so make sure.
I think we're good.
Mental note for later: talking to the mic. Don't look at the camera. Don't hit my jewel. Which 5 minutes into recording, and so far so good. Yeah, it's obviously so much different. You get to see my the glorious face, not behind the Zoom camera. Font and I are in person for the first time, other than like a quick 30-second run-in together.
That's facts. He gave me ice cream that time.
Ice cream truck to the rescue.
Real good ice cream.
Shout out Jimmy Soft, serve the best in Westchester, of course. And yeah, so I mean, the plan is that we're gonna keep using the studio. It's open Wednesdays when we record. It's actually open earlier than we normally record. So depending on work schedules and stuff, everything's gonna change. But we're gonna try and be in the studio as much as possible. So, Font, we have to. Obviously, this isn't our studio, but like, how are we gonna make this studio our studio for a show? Like, what do we need to do? Like, do we need to bring props? Like, what should we do? How do we vendetta this?
This background, when I was in class here, this background bothered the hell out of me, and it's gonna keep bothering me until I change it.
I think
I'm gonna come in with something,
dude,
and fix it.
So when I first got into the studio today, it was literally just the stage. This desk wasn't even here, and I looked at Bob, and I was like, Bob. I don't want to sit in a chair. Like, my body don't look good in a chair on camera. Like, I need to hide something behind the desk. So Bob and I put this together really quickly. I thought there was a green screen back here.
actually believe there is one.
So I'm
Or actually, no. This counts as like a green or like kind of a green screen. You can transpose like images on here, so we could like change the background of things.
Hunter, if you have the technology, make this something cool. Freeze frame. If not, we'll learn for next time.
We'll figure it out.
Nah,
I promise.
All right, so I'll get into the Hunter conversation, and we'll use it to. We have a jam-packed show on.
I know.
Like an actual jam-packed.
It's actually
show.
great that we're starting this earlier. Because if we started this at 8 o'clock,
we
I
can
would've been, I would've been
we
dead
can
tired.
run late. Yeah, for real. So we got football, we got baseball, but as usual, I forgot to say it again. We are a Vendetta Sports podcast. We are a Vendetta Sports Media podcast. Say that 10 times fast.
On the Vendetta Sports Media Podcast
We
Network.
are part of the Vendetta Sports Media Podcast Network. So, full list, Vendetta. We had a Survivor this weekend. Our first live Survivor on Twitch.
Yes, that's right. It was on Twitch.
Did you get to watch it live or no?
I didn't get to watch it live. I've seen it after, though.
So, rest in peace, my good friend, William Wang. Not actually dead, but he's just fired from Vendetta.
Who the fuck is that guy?
For real.
That was my reaction.
If you want to do a mic drop, that would have been the time to do it. Who the fuck is this guy, Conor McGregor style? But no. So, who is Will? Will came in and he was part of the interview. Was just me and Trey, and he had some like really cool videos and shit that he had made, and he's got his own YouTube channel. I thought it would be really cool, but he first started with the soccer podcast. It's no longer here. That we've talked about in the past.
Yep.
They're gone. Part of the blame fell on them. Part of it fell on William. William's an intern. Maybe it wasn't all his fault. We'll give him the benefit of the doubt. We give him Carl Heiser's show. They recorded Monday. Not this Monday, by the way. Monday. A full week had gone by. Nothing. No video. No video from William after a week. Anthony, how important is it to have podcasts out pretty quickly? My biggest pet peeve.
How dead would this show be if our episodes came out the following Monday and we're like a full week of football behind?
Luckily for like what Carl and Alex were recording, it's not time sensitive. They're doing it, so it's Jim Arrange podcast. Subscribe on Spotify, follow them on Twitter, all that fun stuff. That's hosted by our boys Carl and Alex Cervantes. Alex Cervantes. Do you know his name was Philip?
What?
Yeah.
His name was Phil?
His name was Philip.
What?
Sorry if I doxed you or whatever, but
Why is but his name's Alex.
I don't know. Every now and then people call him Philip, and I like don't understand where.
Yeah, I seen Trey call him.
Yeah,
that
Trey
today.
literally just call him Phil, and I just don't get.
I don't
get
like
the
some
origins.
type of like inside joke.
I don't know. Anyway, so their show is out. It didn't come out on video for over a week. It's still not even out on video. They actually decided to cancel the video. So episode 1 is out on Spotify, but actually episode 2, about 25 minutes before we started recording, they dropped episode 2 with the video on our YouTube, so you can go check it out. It's already on our YouTube channel if you're watching this. But Will didn't do that either. So we had a Survivor, live Survivor. I feel like I wrote my 25 blogs or 20 blogs like literally an hour and a half ago, or like literally a year and a half ago. But I just got my Survivor privileges. I probably should have nominated someone else or 2 other people. If you haven't listened to Cheese, go listen to that. We got a lot more in depth about that. But this is the most long-winded story to say how Hunter, I'm sorry. I'll look in the camera. Hunter, I am sorry for disrespecting you live on Survivor. Thank you for not doing me dirty in the edit by making me look even dumber than I was. But here's what happened. So we're recording Survivor live on Twitch. Twitch.tv/Vendetta Sports Media. And we've never done it on Twitch before. Because normally, like, you're firing someone. You don't really want it to be like a public execution, a live firing, whatever the situation may be. But because of the list of people that we had this going into Survivor, it was the list was short, but it was 5 people or three people that haven't opened Slack in 3 weeks. Now, it doesn't mean haven't sent a message, haven't liked a message, reacted to a message. They haven't even opened.
Oh, this is about their accounts going dormant.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's how we got to Survivor, and then so I used my privilege. I nominated. I actually didn't nominate anyone. I should have nominated two people with the initials KM and JR, but they're not listening, so who cares? Cam Moose and Jeremy Rinaldi. You two. You two.
Jeremy's still on Survivor pools?
Somehow he hasn't made a list in a while. And like I said on G's on Monday, that was my fault because I had the privilege. I could have nominated him. Instead, I decided to use my privilege to fuck up the draft order and put myself after Carl's to make myself look like the bad guy. That was not fun. But ultimately, by will, but Hunter stepped up and took the Survivor edit. Now, the Survivor in real time was probably one of our most poorly produced products, just because for some reason Trey's internet was bad. I don't know how. I've been here 6+ months. I've never seen Trey have a bad internet day. It's normally Jackson, but this man was skipping around so much.
Don't even.
That he literally had to. He was doing what Jackson used to do on Toast Time, but that was Trey on his own show.
Or you mean like week 1 of the NFL watch party when I joined Jackson for the 4:00 games and I could barely even hear what he was saying.
That draft stream, they're coming back, but we need some. That could be a whole nother episode. We can just how much effort we need. Jackson can't be doing this shit by himself. So yeah, the internet issues were not Jackson for once, but they were Trey. So the show got choppy. He was the host, going in and out. He was literally on like a 5-minute delay, so he was answering questions from well beyond us, from like well after us. But we fired this kid. Then during the whole Trey's internet situation, there was a really bad still frame of him. I screenshotted it, of course, as one does, put it in random, and no more than 2 minutes later, it had been turned into the Vendetta logo in our Twitter bio or Twitter account was now this picture of Trey. Then, so Twitter, you tweet new profile picture. And there was a comment from someone that we didn't know. I can't find it right now, but it says, "Well, my time at Vendetta is over." Something along those lines, and it was from a name that none of us recognized. At first, I want to
see if I can find it.
At first, we all thought it was.
I know the post.
At first, we all thought it was Will. I mean, you have to go deep on the Vendetta Twitter to find it, but so at first we thought it was Will who was like saying, "Well, it was fun Vendetta" after he got fired. Obviously, that dude's like thinks he's a comedian.
Oh no, I got it right here.
What does it say?
Well, it's been a fun time, but this is it. Vendetta officially died today. Thank you for watching.
So I thought that was Will, along with about the 8 other people that were doing Vendetta with us, that were doing Survivor with us. Everyone's freaking out, and then we realized it's Hunt. The problem was before we realized it was Hunter. When I clicked on the Twitter account, it was followed by 2 people I knew: Vendetta and Empire's Finest. I was like, "Who the fuck is this guy?" Like no disrespectful, who the fuck is this guy? Like mic drop, but. Like, who is this person? Like, why does the show follow him? Anthony runs the show Twitter, but I still like to keep up on Twitter. It's one of my favorite social medias. I was like, who the fuck is this guy? I felt so bad, dude. But so I did that, and then we decided to just literally give him about 500% more work this week. So sorry, Hunter. Sorry. I don't know which camera to look at. I'll look at all of them. Sorry, Hunter. I'll look at all 3 at the same time. I've got 6 eyes. Any other Vendetta stuff? Anything tickle your fancy this week?
I don't really. We haven't fired anyone else this week, right?
No one else has been fired. Trey's been on like an all-time heater this week. All-time heater. I felt bad. I kind of I might have started the revolution before we even know it, but everyone was hyping up football season around Vendetta like it was going to be like the most like intense. Like all like 25 posts a day type like setting like it was when I first got here, and I called it war mode. We ain't in war mode, but I might have started the war because now Trey asked for feedback. No one gave Trey feedback, and now it's gonna be a nightmare for everyone. Last time this happened, Trey asked for feedback, and no one gave it to him. Someone got fired. Well, that was you. All right. Football.
Foosball.
Football.
Let's do it.
Football. We have to go all the way back. like all the way back. So by the time you're listening to this, this story's gonna be a week old. But the New York Football Giants, Thursday night. Who they play?
The Washington football team.
The team with no name. Where was it?
It was in Washington.
In D.C. Giants. They covered, but
I didn't care because I didn't bet on them. I didn't bet on anyone.
oh, but you cared about the game.
Of course I cared about the game.
So why don't you walk me through the last 3 minutes of that game?
Or you want me to walk you through the last 3 seconds?
Yeah, but before we get to the 3 seconds
I'll go to
you knew
how about I go to the
what point did you know that they were going to lose or that they were in trouble? Like what point of the game? It was not the last 10 seconds.
Oh, not the offsides call. That wasn't an offsides call. No, it was.
Not that game. We'll talk about that after.
It was so with a minute left, right? Okay, when I knew we were gonna lose was or I had a really bad feeling we were gonna lose. It was about a minute left after James Bradbury's interception, where Taylor Heineke for some reason decided to throw the ball when the football team had the lead with about a minute left to go on third down. Bradbury made a play on the ball, picked it off.
I forgot about that.
And
we shouldn't even have been where we are. They should just.
no.
Not the Redskins.
There was about a minute 30 left at this point. The Giants decide to run the ball up the middle 3 times and don't get a first down, and then you have to kick a field goal.
Elite play calling. Elite.
Jason Garrett's an absolute idiot.
Surprised he hasn't been fired yet.
I will fire him my damn self if I have to at some point.
Now we have a camera. You get to look into it and point. Jason Garrett, you're fired.
I was giving him a real big glare right now. He probably won't watch this.
That's for you, Jason Garrett.
Really
that fucking stare, it's for you.
I hope one day he does see this and knows how much I hate him. But anyway, yeah. So they kick a field goal, and the Giants are up 2 at this point. And I'm like, I just knew we were going to lose because our defense was playing like shit all game. They were getting gashed by Taylor Heineke. He made the one big mistake, and we should have capitalized and scored a touchdown there, but we didn't. So there's under a minute left. The football team has, I think, 2 timeouts. They start driving down the field almost immediately. It's 6-yard gain, 5-yard gain, 12-yard, and just Giants just getting beat on third down like they have done throughout the first 2 games of the year so far. It's just they can't stop anybody on third down for some reason. Then we get to the point when the field goal comes out. Kick is up. It is wide right. I'm super happy.
Giants win.
Celebrating.
Giants win.
I see the dreaded yellow flag on the floor that the Giants got penalized 10 times in this game for, when apparently Joe Judge is supposed to be the guy that's supposed to coach that out of them. Well, he's clearly not doing a good enough job of that, or either that or they're just uncoachable.
Quick turn on Judge from Font.
Either that or they're just uncoachable.
Wow.
I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is yet, but I'm going to find out.
I would assume that they're probably more uncoached. I don't. How do things change so quickly?
Because they're idiots. They're idiots. Especially the offensive line is retarded. The defense guy was getting called for terrible, terrible penalties all game. But the worst one was Dexter Lawrence jumping the snap, and he jumped the snap. That was not offsides. He jumped the snap, and the ref just, first of all, the NFL this season, early on, they really got to start holding these flags because it is getting a little ridiculous. Some of these penalties
I have that on my list. I have that on my list for later. The atrocious penalties.
Some of these penalties this year have been absolutely insane. The refs are really trying to take over these games, and it's getting bad.
I just don't understand how anyone can look at that one video that went. I think everyone, when I say the one video we're talking about this play, everyone knows where it's that slow scrub where you can see. You're taught as a defensive lineman. This is football analysis 101. As soon as the ball moves, you go. That ball fucking moved. It moved. It wasn't like he was rotating it or it was one hand on it. He looked like he was getting ready to snap it. And he did snap it less than a half second later.
Oh, Dexter Lawrence jumped the snap, man. He really just jumped the snap. And that was a bad call. The football team should not have been granted another opportunity for a field goal. Game should have been over, and the Giants should have won that game.
You think we ever live in a situation where the NFL will retroactively switch that game? Because
no shot. I mean, you want to go on the argument that the Giants didn't do enough to win the game in a lot of other aspects.
Oh,
I mean,
I
absolutely.
mean, that's the point. I mean, we can have that conversation about literally
Absolutely.
every football
with the way
team and any
with the
football
way
team.
Daniel Jones played, that game should have easily been like a 14-point win. Daniel Jones played one of his best games of his career.
I thought he was 8-0. He was 8-0 against the football team.
I think he was 4-0.
4-0. That's 4 seasons, 2 games, whatever. 2 seasons, 2 games a season. That's 4. Yeah, I was surprised. I was surprised by a few things. One, that they let a Fitzpatrick-less team even keep it that close with them. I'm pretty sure, like, as we were recording, I like blurted out the under. Like, I was like, that's a play. Lock it in. I didn't lock it in. Sorry, everyone. But like, how you letting the team without a starting quarterback put up 30 points? Wasn't it 35-38? No.
No. 30-29.
Okay, 30 points still.
Or 29-28,
a team,
something like
whatever. A team with no offense put up close to 30 points. I thought the Giants' defense was good.
This was news to me too. I thought they were good as well. I don't know what happened. I don't know if Patrick Graham just decided to like not change anything over the offseason and offenses have adjusted to how the Giants play defense. I don't know what's going on, but they're getting gashed all over the place. I mean, like I say, I don't know what's going on. I know what a really big problem is. We have no pass rush. One of the first plays.
What about Leonard Williams?
Big Cat hasn't got any. I haven't heard his name called in one of these games, like, at all. The dude hasn't been anywhere near the quarterback. We got we had a sack early on from Azeez Ojulari, the linebacker we picked from Georgia in the middle second round or whatever. You right away, you're sitting there as a Giants fan, and you're like, "This is it. We're gonna get on their ass." Like first series of the game, we sacked them for 16-yard loss. Like this is like we're gonna destroy them. They're not gonna score any points. That was the last time that we touched Taylor Heineke until maybe like the middle of the third quarter. The Giants just have no pass rush. They don't realistically have a pass rush.
It's not like the football team's line is good either. I don't know.
No, it's not great, but we just don't have a pass rush. We haven't drafted pass rushers in forever, it seems like. I mean,
just get the Jets washed up ones.
Yeah, just get literally Leonard Williams. It might as well be he's like almost the best defensive end in the league because he almost gets a sack, but he never does. He's like always a step too late, a split second too late. It's almost funny. Like if you're not a Giants fan, it's pretty funny. Like how much he actually almost gets there, but never actually gets the sack.
Just like Evan Ingram almost catches the ball. Same idea.
I'm so happy I haven't seen Evan Ingram on the field.
Yeah, but does he not play anymore? Does he not exist?
He hurt his calf in the last preseason game, and I believe he might be playing this week though.
Joe Judge tried to erase him from the face of the earth,
and he came back, unfortunately.
So there was one positive that came from the Giants game.
Yeah,
actually 2. Sorry, Giants covered. That started our weeks out.
That
started our weeks out 1-0.
I did pick them, so that did start out a good.
Started our Thursdays better than we started last week. And Font made a video. What kind of video, Font?
It was a video of me taking my Giants hoodie and throwing it in the garbage.
I don't know.
And then stepping on it.
Viral is like a interesting term.
Baby viral. Baby viral.
Yes.
I call it baby viral. Anything from like
anything over 500, I will consider baby viral.
We'll call that baby viral.
Or like anything more than your follower count.
Well, that was like almost triple my follower count.
Yeah, I mean,
when I got views on that.
We
video.
don't pull numbers like that, but you know who posted that video? Like who from?
Like who took it and put it on the
Vendetta Instagram?
I assumed it was. On the Twitter.
The Twitter.
I thought it was Trey.
It was Trey.
Okay, yeah, that's what I thought.
You have a big social team. But yeah, no. So Trey put it on Twitter. Racked up a quick 1,000 views.
Like if you're watching,
did you put that on YouTube or no? Not yet.
No, we didn't put it on YouTube. It was just Twitter video because Trey wanted me to do an emergency press conference, and I'm not gonna lie, I was so infuriated and like just I like couldn't even get it within my. Also, Thursday Night Football, the game ended like close to midnight. With the level of angry that I was, I couldn't just open my computer and do an emergency press conference.
Yeah, but with that level of air, you weren't going to bed either.
I
You
wouldn't
weren't
have
sleeping at night.
I wouldn't have ended up going to bed if I just blew up, and also my parents or everyone's sleeping upstairs. You know, I live in the basement.
Everyone forgets that we all like secretly, not even secretly, we all live at home, and like every time I record, I gotta like put out 5 alerts in my family group chat. Please be quiet. There's a live microphone. Yeah, we don't all have like the complete freedom. Like we're not all in studios.
Oh, like today would be great if there was like something for me to freak out about right now. It would be great because
we literally could say whatever we can say whatever the fuck we want. I'm whispering into a microphone. All right, speaking of whispering into a microphone, last thing on Cheese, and we'll move into the Jets and the rest of the show. But there was like a really like comically funny moment. We were talking about how orthodontists are so rich. Do you know how orthodontists get so rich?
How do they get so rich?
Because they like keep their office, and basically all their patients come to their house, so they get to write off everything in their house as a business expense. Again, I'll look in the camera again. I am not an accountant. I don't know anything about numbers, but I'm just using my guess, my brain, and Twitter. Anyway, so they get to write off like their electricity, like their mortgage, all that stuff. So I was telling Trey that we should, instead of looking for an office in Vegas, he should look for a house in Vegas. And Courtney, she gets all quiet. She goes, "Is this legal?" It's like, yes, I don't know if it's legal. First of all, actually, I probably should have said that. I'm pretty sure it's just called smart taxes, but it's just funny. Like whenever, even I just whisper into a microphone, but
ASMR, the Vendetta edition.
Whoa, that's a great idea. Hunter, make this a separate clip. See if ASMR can get us to go viral. Soft noises. I think keyboard sounds are ASMR too. All right. We can get off the rails pretty quickly now that we're in person. All right. We're called Empire's Finest. I got to talk about the New York sports teams, including my New York Jets. We were so high on Zach Wilson after week 1. So high.
And you mean our starting QB2 in our auction league at Vendetta?
Our quarterback 2. He's also coincidentally quarterback 2 on my personal fantasy team, which is I forgot that he was on our Vendetta team. But not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 interceptions in one game.
At one point, he had 4 completions and 4 interceptions.
I thought he was the future. Actually, I thought he was the future because I got my hopes up after 1 week, and everyone was just telling me how good he looks and how his arm and all that fun stuff. But I always knew it. You can go back in Empire's Finest and even Creek's corner back in the day. Like, there is no way. I told you, like, Zach Wilson ain't going to work out in New York. It's not his fault. It's not Robert Saleh's fault. It's the Jets' fault. Just because if you're a Jets quarterback, you get the shit into the stick. We've seen it with Sammy D.
Oh man, look at Sammy D now.
Starting out 2-0, most likely it's going to be 3-0 tonight when you're listening. They have the Texans, so I can see them.
I'm gonna talk about that game later on. So we'll.
Ooh, that's one of your lines. It's one of your games.
Honestly, I wasn't gonna. It's not gonna be included, but I did want to talk about that game because I got a gut feeling. I got to talk about my gut feelings on the show.
Wow. All right, we'll get to that with the gambling stuff. But just like, I know it's the Jets, and he has no help, and he's no offensive line, and he's not in the best situation. But like, eventually, Zach, like, please just don't throw it to someone else. Throw it to the sideline. Get it out of bounds.
The worst part about these Jet games when the Jets are really, really bad is that since we live in the New York area and I currently don't have like NFL Sunday Ticket or Red Zone right now, I normally leech it off of somebody, but they were watching it at this time, so I couldn't use it. I'm stuck with the only game in the New York market is the New York Jets, and I'm just watching Zach Wilson throw 4 picks. And I thought we were going to get our ass kicked in that fantasy game. I was like, oh, great. Zach Wilson throwing 4 picks. Josh Allen wasn't doing shit. Trey's team actually was kind of going off too.
All right, so do it now. We're on Cheese. We were about to beat him in fantasy, but DeAndre Swift hadn't played. We recorded Monday before Monday Night Football, and I was like, I won't talk too soon until the game's over, and B, As much as it's called Team Empire's Finest, Anthony did the draft and did everything, and we beat Trey, the self-proclaimed auction draft king.
My first year
in his own league.
My first auction draft ever.
Font, you have a message for Trey?
I just kicked your ass. 316.
Suck it.
No, but seriously, I was so happy that I beat Trey only because of how much shit that he's talked for like a year. I'm not even saying to me. Like, he hasn't even really talked shit to me, just in general. When we were talking about, okay, next year we're going to do the auction draft again, blah, blah, blah. Last year, apparently, Trey had, like, not much competition and kind of breezed through the league. But it's going to be a different story this year because my team is solid, and I just couldn't wait. I just couldn't wait to play Trey, and sure enough, play him week 2. And I only beat him. I think we won by 20. That really ain't that close. It was like 114 and 93.
Best part about recording in a studio and not using my laptop to record is now I get to use my laptop. Yup, we beat them 120 to 117. It's actually, oh no, that's projected for this week.
I was gonna say no way.
That's Ish. Yo, Ish, we're coming for that ass, bro. Friend of the program. Yeah, we beat them 114 to 97. So that's a good 17 points. That's 2 touchdowns.
There was at one point we were down by like 40, and projection gave us like a 25% chance to win the game. Within a matter of, I want to say, 2 minutes, I believe it was, Tyler Lockett, Tyler Lockett, Jamar Chase, and I believe
I remember that.
I believe Noah Fant, or it was and Noah Fant. All three of them scored a touchdown in like a 2-minute span. We went from like down 50 to up 5 in about 20 seconds.
Jamar Chase catching that last touchdown to fuck up the spread in that Bears-Bengals game.
I had that locked at 2.5, so I still won. Thank
W.
God. Thank God.
So, imagine if Trey had a bet on the Browns for that. They would have, and they didn't cover. You would have get a push on the bet and a loss on fantasy, all because of one Jamar Chase garbage time touchdown.
I mean, if he had the Bears at, what was it, 3 or yeah?
Yeah, anything bigger than 3 was final was 17-20. So, all right, fantasy. All right, so we did the Jets, we did fantasy, we did Giants. What else we got? Empire's Finest beats Trey. We got that. All right. Into the week 2 recap now. There's a few games that stood out to me for different reasons. The first game was the Cardinals-Vikings game. And it was
actually a great game.
Great game. Arguably, I don't know. I feel like I don't want to say one of the best games of the season so far. Because we're so early into it, but I don't know. Maybe it's just like recency bias, but I feel like the primetime games and the national games have been great this year. Like better than usual. They
actually have been. Both Sunday night games have been really good.
I also know it's because we're getting like the good teams. It's every team gets a chance to play on national TV. So by week 11 or week 13, we'll be getting like freaking Raiders, Broncos, or some shit maybe. But right now we're getting the good games, and they've all like pretty much none of them disappointed. The only one that was a little bit disappointing was the Bears-Rams game week 1. That game was kind of boring.
Oh yeah.
But the best game this week was definitely the Cardinals-Vikings game. Kyler Murray, DeAndre Hopkins. Is Kyle Rudolph still on that team?
Kyle Rudolph's on the Giants.
Really?
Yeah.
Does he do anything?
Yeah, actually, he had a pretty decent game against the Washington football team.
Huh. Who's in the Vikings? Kirk Cousins, Dalvin Cook. All right.
Justin Jefferson.
Whatever. Great game. I would have thought. I know personally, I would have thought the Cardinals were going to beat them by 25. I bet it that way, and I lost on that. But that game was ruined by Aqib Talib. That was the most. That is the perfect example of why companies like us and Barstool are doing these like side watch-alongs. You can watch with us and stuff because no one wants to listen to Aqib Talib, dude. Like no one.
I'm actually very happy that I don't get to hear Aqib Talib that often in the New York and like the New York market. Yeah. Who do we normally get for games? Well, I know we normally get Joe Buck when it's on Fox.
Right. We'll get Buck and Aikman for the 425 games.
The 1 o'clock games we get. Oh my God.
I don't even know, to be honest. I feel like it changed
wanted to
every
say
week.
Bob Papa, but he does radio.
Anyway,
we get it.
Akib Talib is not.
We get good guys.
He is the type of guy when he's talking, you put your TV on mute for, and that's saying something when he's next to Gus Johnson. I didn't realize this when we were recording Cheese, but that was Gus Johnson's first NFL game in a long time. I forgot about that. He's just been doing college, but so
GOAT announcer Gus Johnson.
GOAT.
I love Gus Johnson.
Over Buck?
Over Buck? Yeah, I'm not a fan of Buck.
Do you not like Buck because you think he hates the Yankees?
Yes. I think most of the national announcers hate the Yankees.
Everyone hates the Yankees, dude.
It really bothers me when you got a TBS wildcard game on and Dennis Eckersley is doing the game and you can literally hear him while Judge hits a go-ahead home run. Oh no, what a nightmare! Why is this guy doing the game? He's clearly a homer. Like, come on, bro.
Baseball needs homers announcing, though. They do. Like, not that I want to get rid of like the World Series typical broadcast with Buck and Smoltz, but because that is great. But any playoff round up until the World Series, or with Joe Buck.
Well, to be honest, I don't know. In recent years, I feel like Buck has kind of laid off his like Yankee hate.
I just think that everyone thinks that they hate that Joe Buck hates their team. Not even just the Yankees specifically. Everyone
John
hates the
Smoltz
Yankees.
definitely hates the Yankees, and that's personal. That's so personal.
Yeah, that is true. I don't know. Anyway, Akib Talib, horrible, and ruined the best game of the week. Ruined it. That ruined it more than me losing my bet did in the last second.
I'll tell you what. Who's worse, Akib Talib or Booger McFarland? That's a tough question, right?
I'm taking Booger over Akib because this might sound wrong coming out, but like at least Booger McFarland can put like competent sentences and phrases together and say words properly. Like I'm not, if you listen to Cheese, you heard Trey make this joke literally 1,000 times, but the calamari joke, the calamari, the way Akib Talib was saying it is one word, but he's not butchering names. Like we made fun of Booger because he wasn't John Gruden. That's Booger got and that's the
hard take over for the Gruden grinders.
Right. I personally love Gruden on Monday Night Football. I know he was kind of mixed reactions. I think with him specifically, like if he affected your franchise, you view him differently than anyone else. I just viewed him as an announcer. Like for most of my life, he was an announcer.
I like Gruden. I think he's he's Super Bowl winning coach. He was the first one to bring a championship to Tampa. Basically invented Tampa 2. So
I didn't know that actually.
And was a great announcer.
He invented Tampa 2?
Yeah, they were like that was his team that basically made that defense famous.
Huh.
While we're on the topic of announcers, how about the Peyton and Eli broadcast? Do you like it? I personally, I don't know. Maybe it's just because I love the Manning family. Because
you love it.
One of them played for my team and won me Super Bowls. But yeah, I think it's great. I think that they are, first of all, like not even having anything to do with that. I think Eli and Peyton are two of like the most awkwardly funny guys.
I think if you took Eli and put him by himself,
no, of course, no,
it would be atrocious.
Wouldn't work.
If you put Peyton by himself, it'd be incredible. I don't understand why ESPN is putting this on ESPN2, not behind ESPN Plus, because especially after the buzz they got, week 1, how well the broadcast went, I figured they'd put it behind ESPN Plus, make people pay for it. But
I'm actually so happy it's not on ESPN.
I'm more surprised that ESPN is even letting him do it, because he's just essentially getting a tryout to be a better version of Tony Romo, and ESPN has not been able to fulfill these big contracts. I mean, we've seen a lot of people walk. They've had an interesting few years over there in Bristol, but they're not. Peyton's going to get a lot of money to go in the booth. I don't see ESPN giving it to him, so why are you gonna like let? I guess I'm thinking it more as like a sports team where like you don't want to like boost up your guys before you let them go, but if ESPN's smart, they lock him up quickly, and they just move him to the main booth and put Eli with a bunch of other rotating people.
Or I would say probably would be maybe do it for this season. You give Peyton the Monday Night Football job, and then Eli. I mean, Eli probably wouldn't be doing the games then.
No, Eli won't do games by himself.
He won't do games by himself.
He'll do commercials. He'll pop in between.
Love his commercials. Eli's got some of the best commercials out there, man.
I think you just really like Eli Manning. I
Maybe
don't know.
do.
I don't know if he has the
Maybe
best
I
commercials out there. Like I think
You don't remember the Little Brothers Club, or it was like a take on the what was it, like the that like Big Brother Big Sister like charity thing.
no.
You don't remember that commercial? That commercial was fantastic. It was a bunch of little brothers just beating up their older siblings.
I remember the one where the two of them did where Peyton gave Eli a wet willy in the ESPN offices, like
That was a funny
like the This Is Sports Center commercials.
Yeah.
Those were great back in the day. This Is Sports Center. Rest in peace, Stuart Scott. What were we talking about?
We were talking about announcers, and then I went into the segue about Peyton and Eli.
Okay. Final thought on this, super unrelated to everything we were talking about. Do you think that they love that they had the same amount of Super Bowls, or they both hate that they had the same amount of Super Bowls?
I think Eli loves that he has the same amount of Super Bowls.
Peyton's probably so fucking mad, dude. Like, how do I let this fucking twitching brother get the same amount of Super Bowls as me? Peyton must be so mad just because Eli did something that he's never done and will never be able to do, and that's beat Brady.
It's because Peyton was like the perennial NFL quarterback, like one of the best ever in the regular season. He was not a playoff performer.
Never was.
It was very hard for him to win Super Bowls with a good team. And it was like every time Eli managed to have like a good roster around him, they managed to go on a run and win.
When we're counting Super Bowls, like Peyton's last one don't count.
No, I mean, God, it's
if you don't throw a touchdown in a Super Bowl game, if you cannot get the ball from your hand into a wide receiver's hand,
he was a game manager for the second half of that game.
I'm pretty sure I could be wrong off the top of my head. I do have my laptop in front of me, but
he didn't even start the game.
If I had to guess, his final stat line would have been.
Did you know that he didn't start?
Yeah, Brock.
Remember that? Brock Osweiler started that game.
Peyton couldn't move his neck.
The only reason they won was because of Von Miller and that disgusting defense.
Defense was incredible. Football's so weird, dude. Like, neither of those teams are even close to being a Super Bowl right now. Panthers and Broncos, and it was 5 years ago, right? 6 years ago.
It was not that long. 2015.
Yeah, my first year out of high school. All right. Any other games from last week you want to talk about? Did I miss anything? Other games I wrote down.
I'm trying to think of any
Seattle, Tennessee. I can't believe
bad beats.
Can't believe Seattle lost that game.
Can't believe DK Metcalf didn't score a touchdown for me.
Baltimore, Kansas City.
Lost the 5-leg player prop parlay because DK Metcalf didn't score a touchdown. But it seemed everyone else in that game scored.
Yeesh. Yeah, I haven't dipped my toe in those player prop parlays yet, or the parlay plus, whatever you want to call them.
The only reason I did like another 2 of those is because last week I was on fire. I hit like 3 of them.
Would you hit them? Was it like they were obviously all plus money? So you think you were like plus 18 on those or no? Like you think you made enough to do one for each week of the rest of the season?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I put maybe $10, $20 on it. I won like $400 from the ones I won.
It's a lot of units. Yeah. Anything else from last week before we flip the page metaphorically? I have some. We'll go over our records. I have my best bet, my teaser. Spoiler: I have 2 teasers. We got records.
Let's get into the gambling stuff.
Fun. You got games, right?
I do got games. Give me
one. What do you want to do first? You want to do the?
Give me. Let's do. Shit. Do Well, I'll tell you what. Let me. Why
don't we go over the records while you come up with your game, and then we'll
go on the records. I think I have my 3 games though.
All right.
We go over the records.
All right. So I actually appreciate you, Anthony, because when you did you've been doing the Empire's Finest blogs where we do our picks, the entire blog list. You put me at 6-10 after week 1, even though I was 5-11. But because we talked about the last game, Thursday Night Football game. We've made an official note to switch my play. So we're after week 1, we were tied 6-10. Into week 2. You got boned in the 1 o'clock slates week 1, and you kind of kept it up here. You went 4-6 in the 1 o'clocks, 1-3 in the 4s, and then 1-1 in the night, Sunday night, Monday night. I went 6-4 in the 1 o'clock slate, 1-3 in the 4 o'clock slate, which just continues to be my fucking kryptonite.
The 1 o'clock slates, it's like I'm not. It's like I'm not fully awake yet.
This
and
year,
then 4 o'clock comes and it's like, all right, let's do this.
This year we got witching hours this week we got witching hours so hard, and especially in the 4 o'clock games, because last week the Tuesday was Texans 18.5. That was good. Seattle plus half, what ended up being the loser. Seattle looked like they were winning the entire game. Mm-hmm. The entire game, just like
they were. And then it just fell apart in 2 seconds.
I know I talked about this last week, and like how I'm riding Russell Wilson, and I'm gonna ride him again this week, and that's a little bit of spoiler for my pick. But there are some times where I have like different years where I'm either all in on the Seahawks or all against the Seahawks, and no matter which I choose, I'm always wrong. I'm getting torched. And it wasn't even like the Arizona game where they didn't cover, but they at least still won. Like Seattle went from covering pretty handily to like losing. That ruined my teaser. That pissed me off because of course Green Bay hit to close it out. That would have been plus 250.
The thing about that Cardinals game, it's just that's why I almost hate going against the Vikings cover wise, because they managed to tie the game up or take the lead really late and then blow it with like 3 seconds left. So you end up still not covering. And it just annoyed you that the fact that they actually put up a fight.
I have a general rule, and to try to not bet on bad teams. It's a pretty universal blanket rule. Don't bet on the bad teams and bet on the good teams. So I never bet on. I'm always betting against them. I don't think I've ever I've been probably placing sports bets for 4 or 5 years now. I don't think I've ever bet once on the Vikings. Those uniform.
I think I took them like once or twice last year.
I'm not saying I'm going to fade them every week, but they're just never a team I would be like, you know what? I'm confident enough in this team to put any amount of money on it, whether it's 1 unit, 2 units, half a unit, 25 units. There ain't no way I'm putting any money on Kirk Cousins in my entire life. You can clip that in a few weeks when I give my best bet as the Vikings. All right, so I went 8-8 overall. You went 6-10. Again, so you're coming in at 12-20. I'm 14-18. Just a few other records. Fonts 5 after 1-4 week 1, bounce back. 3-2.
Big bounce back.
So you're 4-6 overall, but you're getting back. You're heading in the right direction. My show picks, I went 1-2 last week. I lost the Tuesday teaser. So my overall record on the show is 3-3. Teaser record's 0-1. So I'm tracking my own units this year in this little handy-dandy notebook. And after week 2, I am minus 1.3 units. So I guess for those who don't know, the way that you bet on sports gambling is you get a line. There's points. You can pick spreads, money line, total. Spread is with the Vegas line, so -7, +7, etc. The way I explain that to people who don't know what it is, like whatever the numbers are, when the game starts, that's the score. So if the Giants are +7, the score when the game kicks off is Giants 7, other team nothing, and you play the rest from there. But if you bet on a spread, there's what's called juice or whatever you want to call it. I think it's what do you call it? You call it juice?
Yeah, I just call it juice.
I call it juice. I think it's a regional thing. We call it juice up here. Anyway, so anything with spreads or over under, anything that's like essentially what Vegas deems like a 50-50 chance, the lines are -110, -115, etc. So what that means is if the line's -110, you need to risk $100 to win 100. So that means if you go to Vegas, I want to bet $100 on Giants +7. The odds are -110. I bring $110 to the cashier. They give me a ticket. When that ticket wins, I get $210 back. Common misconception. You'd be surprised. People think like that So why would you give him 110? You only get 100 back.
Yeah, not gonna lie. When I was in like 7th grade and I didn't know anything about sports gambling, I swear to everything, that's what I first thought.
I would hope you knew nothing about sports gambling in 7th grade. I would hope.
Well,
I know. We grew up near a casino and we had a horse track.
The second I got to freshman year, I put a
It's the Fontanello.
put a bet in with a kid walking around taking bets on the Mayweather Canelo fight.
Did you win?
My freshman, hell yeah, I won. Pulling money on Mayweather.
I bet you if you lost that, the rest of your life would be different. You probably would have never bet on another sport game again.
That was the.
That was it.
That was it.
That's how everyone's got one story like that.
Thank you, Stephen Adler. You have started my gambling. You started my gambling addiction.
Responsibly.
Freshman year, responsibly. You don't know it yet.
Responsibly, of course. All right, those are our records. We're closing the book on week 2. Book closed. On to week 3. Font.
Let's do it.
Give me lines you don't get. Give me some games that stand out to you. What do you got for me?
First off, this is not going to be included in my 3 that I'm going to give on the show, but I did actually want to talk about this Thursday night game with the Texans and the Panthers because this is going to be officially the first time where I actually don't give a crap about how much the public is on the Panthers in this game.
Oh, I forgot something. Okay, go. Finish.
The 80% of the bets are going on the Panthers. 86% of the money is on the Panthers right now. I know that normally sounds like the kiss of death, but no Tyrod Taylor. The Texans already stated that they are not turning to Deshaun Watson. So the Texans are running out.
It's a big number, though.
Absolute scrub of a quarterback. It's -8.
Davis Mills. It's a big number, though.
-8 ain't that bad. It is a big number. I know.
I'm just thinking of the same team that played the Jets week 1 that I thought the line was a joke, that was under a touchdown facing the Jets. Now you're facing arguably the only team that has a worse outlook than the Jets historically, and specifically this year. I don't get how this number isn't over at least 10. I don't get it. But 80, what'd you say? 80% of the money?
80% of the money. No, 86% of the money. 80% of all bets.
Last week when I went with that strategy and for the symbol 6 with Carl, I was wrong. Like 95% of the money was on Cincy in that, and yeah, they won. I thought I took Indiana like a square. We're not like a square, trying to be a sharp. But that was my point. Is you got the Action app and you feel like it's everything is like, yo, I'm telling you, the sharp money's here. We got to go this way. Sharp money.
Yeah, that
the public, the fade.
I'll tell you right now, that betrayed me Monday night. I'm sitting there Monday night and I'm thinking of who I want to bet on. I didn't want to take the spread because I'm like, I don't like double-digit spreads. I hate double-digit spreads. Let me go look at the total. There was like 70% of the bets were on the over. A bunch of sharp money was going on the under. And I said, this one time I'll make the exception, bet on the under. Now everyone knows that the under was literally obliterated by early third quarter,
very quickly.
Which is why I will never ever bet the under ever again. Life is too short to bet the under.
Looked in the camera and said that I like it. We're getting used to the studio.
Anyway, I'm going to take the Panthers -8 in this game Thursday night, just because it's Thursday night football. I need to have some sort of like skin.
Of course,
gotta
have a little.
I gotta have something in the game. Like last week, I didn't need anything in the game because the Giants were playing. Trust me, I had enough stress going on that game. Didn't need to put money on it to add to the stress. But -110 for -8. I mean, I don't know if you want to buy a point here. Honestly, I probably wouldn't even bother. I think the Panthers are actually good. I think they are a very decently good team.
Week 2 was a lot better for them than week 1.
They start off with a really easy schedule, and I really don't think that they're going to trip up against like the lower teams. Obviously, when they go and start playing their division games, like when they have to play. When they got to play the Bucs twice, although them beating the crap out of the Saints was very surprising to me.
Beat them bad.
That was very surprising to me.
I thought, I'm actually lucky, like in looking back on it, that I didn't bet on the Saints in that game because in my brain I would have told you, huge letdown spot for the Panthers. I guess it would have been a letdown spot for the Saints too, because they just had a nice win week 1 against the Packers. I don't know. I mean, Jameis found his level. Water always finds its level. I don't know about the Panthers. I'm rooting for Sam Darnold. I'm rooting for Robbie Anderson. I don't know.
You might as well just go buy a Panthers jersey this year. They're the X. You might just right on the front X Jets.
They don't even need to be the Panthers. They just need to rename themselves like the Adam Gase, like the Freedom Fighters, some shit like that. Like
they escaped the notorious Gase of hell.
Actually, like shit's brutal. So Cardinals. That game is in one of my teasers. The Panthers game. Kind of big number, especially when I say big number, obviously normally a big number in football is anything over 14, makes it 2 scores, makes it like a big number. But
I usually think of big number as anything over 7, to where like you're not going to be able to make that up in one score in a conventional way.
Fair enough.
Like 9.
Yeah.
Hate 9. 10 actually isn't that bad to me, but 9 I hate. 9 is a bad number in my opinion.
Is it?
I think so. I hate the number 9.
You buy it or you just ignore it?
I normally just ignore it altogether, or if I really feel good about the team, I'll buy the point down, because there's no way I could sit there and take 9. I hate 9.
I think I hate buying points more than I hate the 9.
I normally only buy points if I'm putting it in a parlay.
True.
That way it doesn't.
It don't do much.
Doesn't bother me too much. Well, it doesn't affect the payout all that much either.
All right. Any other games you got this week?
Oh, absolutely. All right. So now on to my 3. We'll just rattle these off here. KC -6.5 in Kansas City. They just had probably one of the worst losses, I would say, in Pat Mahomes' career, in terms of just like driving down the field, about to win the game, fumbling the ball, losing the game.
I was shocked that if you were going to tell me Lamar versus Mahomes, Lamar was the winner in 2021.
I thought Lamar Jackson would never beat this guy, especially with all the injuries that the Ravens have. I didn't
guess
think
he beat him
that
when
was
it doesn't
happening.
really matter, but yeah.
I didn't think that was happening. But Kansas City's taking on the Chargers. Chargers just had a bad loss against the Cowboys. You could say the Chargers are going to come into Kansas City fired up. Yeah, I don't know about that. I think Kansas City's going to come back home looking to put a hurting on a division opponent. I think 6.5 is a great number, and I know KC is really bad at covering, but I think this is the game that they cover by a lot. I think this is a double-digit blowout.
I'll reserve my judgment for later.
Another game I like a lot. We're going to go Tennessee at home, -5.5 against Indianapolis Colts. The Colts, kid you not, I thought the Colts were going to be a lot better than what they are. They've really disappointed me.
0-2.
They've really disappointed me.
Should have won last week. They were up I think they were up 14. At least they were up at least 10 before they lost.
They played the Rams, right?
Yeah, they did play the Rams.
They were. I know they were coming. They came back. They came like all the way back. They were down. They were down like 10 or something in like the first quarter, first half. But they came all the way back, and then just the bottom fell out from under them. Carson Wentz, don't know if he's going to even play, or if he does, how effective he'll be, because he hurt both his ankles. I mean, I've heard of people hurting their ankles. Never heard of somebody hurting both.
I totally
both
forgot
their
about
ankles.
that. Yeah, you're right.
Never heard about that. I think at 5.5, that's a great number for the Titans. I think what they're going to do is take the lead early, and then they're just going to try and bludgeon the Colts defense into submission with Derrick Henry all day long.
Henry showed up in week 2. We never see Derrick Henry in September. He fucking reminded everyone he's here.
Like, the king was back.
Yeah, Tractor Cito came early this year. Early arrival for Mr. Henry.
The king was definitely back. Oh, and I got one more game now. This, I feel like, I don't know, whatever you want to end up calling this, easy game. There's no such thing as an easy game. What are we talking about here? But we're going to go Green Bay Packers, who are underdogs, going to San Francisco at +3.5.
So last time we played this game, lines I don't understand. I don't get this line. I don't get it. I don't get how Packers are underdogs, even though the Packers haven't played well and they've had a really bad loss and then like an okay-ish win. Like the scoreboard was lying about their the game this week was a lot closer than the scoreboard indicated for the most part, but like I don't get how Aaron Rodgers is ever going to be an underdog. I don't understand. It's especially to a team that has Jimmy Garoppolo or Trey Lance.
That's why I love this game. That's why I love this game, because when else are you going to find Aaron Rodgers as an underdog? And he got he got like that bad game out of him already week 1. I think going home and playing the Lions was like the best thing for that team because they just beat up on a really bad team. So now they're really game on.
You think it was the best thing for that team? I think it was actually bad for the Packers because the first half, Jared Goff looked incredible in the first half of that football game. It was close, and I think if anything, it probably made the Lions feel better about themselves because they're like, all right, like,
I mean, in the end, Aaron Jones did end up scoring 4 touchdowns on him.
True. I don't know. I didn't think that it was a great game for Rodgers. I didn't think that he by any means like showed out or.
Of course, not his best game.
So,
but he's still Aaron Rodgers. Still the reigning MVP.
That fuck you game that I was expecting from him, just never has not.
Could be against the Niners though. He's actually 5-6 in his career against the 49ers. I believe it's. I believe it's like one of 2 teams that he has a losing record against.
I think he's from the Bay Area, right?
Yes, he is. He went to Cal.
He's a Bay Area boy, so you don't like to go home? That sucks. Wow. All right, so wrapping up here, I got my picks, the teaser, 2 teasers actually, and we're gonna wrap up with some baseball quickly, but I'm a little concerned because you picked 3 games just now. 2 of them, I have picks in the same game.
Mm-hmm.
Both of them are wrong. Not wrong. I had the opposite way. So I'll start with the Colts and Carson Wentz game because I forgot about Carson Wentz potentially having both his ankles hurt. Even though today I saw that he was fine, he was walking around with no boot. Give me the Colts. I think the Titans are the fraudiest of frauds.
Really? I think Titans are frauds?
I got burned by them last week. I will probably get burned by them again. But Colts are a good football team. They've very much been disappointing this year. I know the horse fans, all the indie people were expecting big things from them, especially with Carson Wentz coming. No one was really envisioning no one to start, but this team is too good to fail repeatedly, I think. And it's kind of regardless of Carson Wentz. Obviously, if he's hurt, then the game changes so much. And even though I don't think he's the most important part of that team, I will no longer bet on that team. But I don't know. Titans are on fraud alert. Last week fucking sucked. They literally stole money right out of my heart. That was annoying. Yeah, so I'm just going to try and keep chasing Tennessee the right way I want to. So I'm going to fade them all year probably. I don't know. I lost last week. So Colts +5, but that is pending what happens to see what happens with Carson Wentz. I have a 4th pick, so if for some reason he doesn't play, then I'll switch that out. I love the Chargers this week, Anthony.
You like the Chargers?
I love the Chargers this week. And
Adam are going on opposite sides here. I like it that way. I'd rather one of us win than both of us lose.
I'm so scared about it too. That I'm like so in love with the Chargers this week that I'm scared because, like Alabama, actually they're not like Alabama. I'll tell you why. The Chiefs don't cover, and when the spread is close enough, like last week where it was within 3 points, they rather lose than cover. Like, they had a chance to win and cover, but instead, Mahomes, Reed, like, nah, we'll just lose so we don't have to cover for these people. Chiefs win. Don't get me wrong. Justin Herbert, still electric. Division game. Everyone has high expectations for the Chargers this year. Give me... It's at 6.5 right now. In a perfect world, I see this getting bet enough where it gets to 7.5 or 8.
Yeah, which is why I'm definitely locking the line now at 6.5. If it goes any higher than 7, I won't. I don't like it no more.
100%.
Speaking of which, while you keep giving your breakdown, I'm actually gonna lock this in right now.
Lock it in right now. Yeah. So charge 6.5 is the lowest amount I'll take. I won't take 6. 6.5 and up. Give me the Chargers. God, I'm so scared betting against the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes. So scared. And then my last pick for if the Colts do not have Carson Wentz. Give me the Bills minus 7.5 against the football team. Football team high up.
Listen, nobody circles the wagons like the Buffalo Bills.
Facts. Bills are playing at home. They disappointed the fans against Pittsburgh in week 1. If you don't think the people in Orchard Park, New York, are going to be insane, this team is 1-1. They're not 0-1 again. This is not the even though they thought they were maybe getting the old Bills of the past in week 1, this ain't that. This team is very much a real AFC Super Bowl contender, a threat to make the game. Give me the Bills. 7.5. I know I just said big numbers are over 14, but 7.5 is a big NFL number, especially with Washington's D. But Josh Allen's just so electric that it doesn't matter.
The Bills made a big statement last week too, going into Miami and just kicking the shit out of the Dolphins.
I know Tua got hurt, but I don't think that if Tua's in the game,
the way that game looked,
that's what I'm saying.
Regardless of if Tua played
That's
that
what
game,
I'm saying.
that game was over.
I saw a lot of people in the big media saying like, "Oh, well, Tua got hurt. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't count. Like Tua wasn't there. He threw 4 passes."
I'm a Tua believer, but the way that game looked, like right off the bat, where Buffalo scored twice in less than 5 minutes, I go, "This game's a wrap already." I was like, no matter what Tua does, it's over.
The Bills held on. They didn't hold on in week 1 against the Steelers, but all right, those are my 3. I guess I have to put a best bet on it. Did I even say Seattle? Did we talk about Seattle?
We talked about Seattle a lot before, but you didn't talk about Seattle this week.
All right, Seattle's my lock of the week. Seattle,
Lock of the week.
Sorry, best bet of the week, whatever you want to call it. Remember how I just went on the huge Vikings rant? How I'll never bet on them and they're a fraud team, and I don't bet on fraud teams. Well, Seattle, first Minnesota. Seattle inside of a field goal. Give it to me. Seattle's gonna win by 1.
That's the whale pick this week.
It's the well pick, I guess. I don't feel good about my well picks. All right. I got my 2 teasers. What do you got for me? You got something? You're locking it in. Never mind.
Oh yeah, I was locking my thing in.
Good. Glad we got that locked.
I was locking those lines in. I seen them and I'm scared that they'll move, so I'm locking them in now.
All right. I know I said I'm usually gonna do 1 teaser a week, but I got a little ahead of myself this week. I'm not gonna lie. Saw the board on Tuesday, and I was like, "Wow, I love the teaser board." I hate the regular board this week. I don't know if we talked about that, but this week is fucking impossible. It seems like literally.
Well, you mentioned that to me before the show. Was that this board is horrendous?
Do you disagree?
No, I actually agree. Like it took me like 3 hours to find 3-4 games that I liked. It normally takes me like 45 minutes to figure that out.
Normally,
I'm like sitting there staring at
when I look
numbers.
at the board on Tuesday or whenever the first time I look at the board is, there's at least one number that first glance is like, okay, that is the number that I want, and then you have to. Usually takes about like 5-10 through like read throughs. You gotta go back, see the results, ATS records, all that fun stuff. What did I say?
How this more of a teaser board?
Gotcha. It's a fucking teaser board city. So with big points, you get teaser boards. All right. So the only reason why I have 2 this week is because the first one I locked in, I put the Panthers in. So there's a chance that you're listening to this and you might not be able to put it in time. So I gave you 2 just in case. I played both. First time I have action on Thursday night for real. So it's going to be cool. All right. First one's plus 250. That means if you bet $100, you get $250 in winnings back, right? Plus 250, plus money. Panthers minus 1.5. This was like the thing with these Tuesday teasers, I lock them in early where I don't. Lines move so much already, but Panthers minus 1.5, Cardinals minus 1.5, Colts plus 11.5, Bills minus 1.5. So that's my 4-teamer. I mean, I can run through them quick. I don't see the situation where the Panthers lose. Font loves them by 2 touchdowns, so anything under 7 is good for me. Cardinals, same idea. I love the Cardinals last week. I got burned by them. Who are they playing this week?
Cardinals this week.
I'll tell you right now that just was looking at them. They
are playing
Jacksonville.
Oh yeah,
7.5 is the line. Obviously, Cardinals favored.
So I got it down to 1.5. Colts plus 11.5. We talked about that game a lot. Big points. Give me the big number. Bills minus 1.5. So that's the 4-teamer. Then I got a 5-teamer. Cardinals minus 1. Colts plus 11.5. The over 50. It's the adjusted tease line in the Chiefs game. Chiefs Chargers obviously. Bills minus 2, and then give me the under in the Bears and Browns game. Under 52. That's plus 400. I would love a plus 400 here right now. I've been ice.
It would be nice.
I've been so cold. I've been ice cold. I mean, obviously we went over records. My show records are 14-8 in all my picks, and
yeah, last week I was super hot.
What,
I don't let everyone know right now that normally doesn't happen.
I'm 3-3 in the records. So I'm fucking ice cold right now.
I could tell you,
bro. You know who's red hot right? Who's red hot right now? And I waited specifically until after we recorded this before I asked him for my picks because I didn't want to steal his picks on the show.
Trey or Ish?
You know he's 19-1, Trey.
Yeah,
his NFL record is 19-1, dude.
I did see that.
Oh,
he's just having a good couple weeks.
Last few things. I'll close the laptop for this. Giveaway. Only 2 people have entered in the giveaway. Trade Albert on Instagram, Trade Albert on Twitter. No, sorry. Trade Albert on YouTube comments, Trade Albert on Twitter. Unacceptable. Trey, I get that it's your company and you're trying to make money, but if you win the giveaway, you will, of course, get the shirt. But I'm not running this giveaway until I get at least 10 people. So
definitely got to get at least 10 people.
At least 10 people. I'd like to run it with 25, but I'll feel comfortable running with 10. So,
FYI, there are currently 50 people in the Slack random channel right now.
Anthony, how many people do you think listen to our show from the Slack channel?
I can tell you right now. I know the views. It's easily 50, probably 25%.
We'd be lucky. We'd be lucky if we got that.
I think I know who it is. Obviously, I don't know for sure, but I think I know who.
If we could guess, it was the people who care. But a few wrap up things from last week that I didn't get a chance to talk about. Trey shit on us for shitting on him.
About the Cowboys.
About the Cowboys pick. He still calls me a square. I've argued this point in depth multiple times, but I don't think I'm a square. But it got testy in the podcast channel streets of Vendetta Sports Media Slack. Everyone was getting feisty for some reason. Yeah. So Trey, I'm sorry. I just said you're red hot. You got your name got mentioned in the studio. Congratulations. Yeah. So feedback for after this episode. What we can do better. We always need to know that.
100%.
If we sound good, if we sound bad, hopefully we don't sound bad. That would suck.
Hopefully we don't. Although I can tell you right now, I have no idea how we sound.
I'm also, Anthony, looking at these cameras, and I only see one red light, and that makes me really nervous. So there's a chance that this might be all audio. If you're just listening to this and you're
pretty sure those cameras are on.
I'm sure they're on. If you miss the video part, we're in a studio, so cool.
Well, that camera's definitely recording.
That one's definitely on, but that one's just to you. So it might just be the Anthony show this week. We'll figure it out. Shout out Hunter. Follow
I do have a pretty face.
Yeah, let us know what we should add to the set. We can print shit out. Anything that we can bring in our cars and move back and forth pretty easily. We can do. Whether we put something on
definitely like hang up some like jerseys or something.
Put something on. Yeah, we got shit. We could turn this into a green screen. That'd be insane.
That'd be great.
That'd be
actually. We get the green screen. How much does he think a green screen costs?
I think they're expensive.
I don't know. Maybe Hunter can answer that for
But
us.
I think like the problem with the greens is that like the software that you need is the more expensive part. I don't know.
I don't know. It doesn't seem that bad.
Like what do we even need behind us though? What do we even need behind us? All right,
What do you mean? On top of
like if we were to let's say there's a green screen behind us, what would even be behind us?
oh, we do like I don't know,
Like our logo?
our logo. Whenever we
You-
start
you-
getting into whenever
Should
we
do,
start
like,
whenever we
games or something? Like,
whenever we start like going into like rants or something, we got the big board going. Like we could like do everything.
possibilities are endless.
Yeah, we could do a ton of things.
All right. Anything else, Font?
For now, got nothing.
All right, everyone. That's going to do it. Thank you for listening. That's going to do it for this week's episode of Empire's Finest. What was this, 13?
Oh boy.
Got to be 13.
We'll go with 13.
Something like that. You'll know when
And
it's
if
posted.
we're wrong, Hunter will yell at us that we forgot that we messed up the episode number again.
I know, dude. Like, I feel like Hunter was like my wife or girlfriend or something. Like, you missed the anniversary. Like, how are you going to know? 10 episodes is a lot. So I think it's 13. If not, it's NFL Week 3. Make sure you follow the Twitter at Empire's Finest. Finest in the one in the Empire. Empire's Finest on Instagram. The one is in the finest. Myself at Adam Krieger 1997 at ant_font1.
There you go.
Thank you again, College of Mount St. Vincent, letting us use everything. Beautiful studio, great mics, cool cameras, and we'll see you next time.
Stay classy.